There was a Muslims literally in Nigeria up in arms over the Miss World pageant having anything to do with that. And so they're setting people on fire.
It was a social political statement they acquired.
They're up in arms, and, you got to kill a few people and set them on fire. And so they're setting each other on fire over, the protest of the moral issue of the Miss World contest. Because I think they basically feel that, if you don't have a towel over your head, you pretty much, that's pretty risky stuff.
It's the lusciousness of morality. You gotta argue the issues, and what stronger point you gonna get?
You're gonna give them 2 shots in the head.
On fire, inflamed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, it's really interesting. Like I got these Muslim pamphlets I've kind of looked into, or on Islam and stuff like that, and it's like you take the dogma and the ritual of Catholicism to the 10th power, and then you have Islam.
Is it really? Have you really?
I've looked into it.
Have you really studied it, Joe?
I've been studying it.
Have you really? Have you honestly engulfed yourself?
I have immersed myself in Islam in a number of sources. I've recently been listening. God, last week on this channel, after we got through, sandwiched between us and the Mike Hunt show, the pornography that comes on after 1, there was a show called Irregular TV, and I emailed that guy. So if he's watching, man, I need to see that again. This Irregular TV thing where he shows historical footage of public figures, and last week's was on Malcolm X, and man, that was fucking interesting.
He was one badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
He didn't shut up for nobody.
He ain't gonna shut up. That guy, you're not gonna shut him up unless you shoot him dead.
Shut him up is a bullet between the fucking eyes, and that's what happened.
But that's unfortunate because that happens to a lot of people, But I do respect the fact that that's a guy you're not gonna shut up, and I like that.
All the truly great leaders have been murdered.
Well, that was the 60s, and we're a race that we kill our leaders. But essentially, so I got some insight into Islam and the way he looked at things, and then those pamphlets they were handing out at the county fair down in Puyallup, I got a big old wad of them and instructional audio cassettes on how to become a Muslim and all that. And so I've looked into it a little bit. Obviously, I don't know everything about it, and there are some good sides to it, but I differ on how tight a box I put my life into.
Well, it's like any religion. If somebody tells you there's only one way, there's something wrong in the picture.
You just can't be messing around and put yourself in too tight a box, or it's like something's going to spill out over the edge. That's the problem with Catholicism. I think their sexual crimes are inherent in the doctrine, or in their interpretation of the doctrine. When that pastor's up there at the pulpit, and there's that blonde with really big tits out there in, aisle 3, and she's praising the Lord and going nuts. He can't play with those tits.
But you can sit there and fantasize.
And so what happens is, he's about to snap. He's looking at him, and then the closest thing he's got is some, kid carrying a Bible down the aisle, and that's what they turn to. I'll go out on a limb.
If you got enough money, I think they got them their sex dolls you ain't got to blow up.